we have to have a lot of tools in our toolkit, our toolbox to engage people. That's one thing we learned in the process is the non-parents, the people we call residents, who make up the majority of the voters. We need to find new and innovative ways to engage them. How do they get to know us? How do we get to know them? It's hard to trust people you don't even know, right? So how do they know what's going on? How do they, instead of just getting a ballot, like I see the District 4 fire that's on the ballot right now, right? And I know it didn't. I know that I wonder the same thing. You see signs, you see advertisements, but you also wonder how did they get out there? How do you talk to people about their requests and so on? And so it's just something we have to have a lot of discussions about. So what I'm recommending is that over the next month, that legally we can meet one-on-one, the superintendent and a board member. Legally, we can meet one-on-two. You have 2 board members and the superintendent. We can have special board meetings with them. We obviously need to talk about them in public settings. But we need to really start getting your input on how do we re-engage to make a decision. And if we were to run something in February, there's only so many months you can run. You can run in August, November. You can run one in February. You can run in April. You can run it in May, but then you go back to August, November, February, April, May, August. So we just have to make some decisions. And what I'm recommending is that we go out and really build trust with people and listen. Don't make up our mind. We have to actually listen. Do people want to rerun a bond? Do they have no interest in rerunning a bond? Do they want to run a capital levy? Do they want to run a smaller bond? What do we want to do? We want to talk to the people who voted in favor. We want to talk to people who didn't vote. We want to know people who weren't. They didn't vote at all. So there's a lot of things we're going to have to do to re-engage because we still have a lot of facilities. And so we just got to figure out how we're going to do that. So along with that, last thing, and then I'll go. In the past, we used NAC Architect as our study and survey company. They also won the bid for the middle school project. So they had 2 roles that they were doing. They won the bid for the study and survey. They won the bid for the project. Well, we have to decide. Anytime if you run a measure, you have to put it out for bid. But when it comes to pre-planning for any measures like a bond or a capital levy, you don't necessarily have to run through the same bid. So NAC met with me again recently over the summer. Randy Wilson, who was the lead, he retired. So now Brent Harding and Kelly Hendrickson are the 2 reps that they put a proposal together to help us do pre-planning for a potential measure. And they would charge us, so it would have to be paid for. My recommendation is to look at their proposal, maybe get at least one other proposal to compare and contrast. The benefit NAC has is that they've been with us. So you wouldn't have to start over with having them go around all the buildings, assessing all the needs, figuring out the cost estimates, you getting to know people, building relationships. You'd have a new team with Randy leading. The disadvantage of NAC is that we didn't win when they took over. And they were the ones that we got mad when the bid went over the budget. Remember on the middle school? So I told them that's a mark against you. Because you were in charge of setting the budget and putting it out to bid. But so we just had. So anyway, it's nothing you have to decide tonight. But we are ramping it up a little bit. We need to start thinking about the Facilities Advisory Committee. What do you want to do there? Re-engagement process with staff, students, families, and communities, and ultimately determine where we want to go with the long term. Clarifying questions for me on that at all? Make sense? That makes sense? Okay, a lot to take in right now. Any questions from the crowd?
I think it was very wise how the process of it was. They said, yeah, whichever way it goes.
Yeah, it's a tough move. I noticed at West Valley, I just read in the paper today that they decided to run a measure, but they're running a capital instead of a bond. And I think their original bond was about, I was close to 70 million, and I think they're running like a capital levy about 12 million. And the difference with a capital levy is it requires 50% approval, the bond requires 60%. I don't know, I haven't talked to their superintendent, but I do know that they made a decision. I also know that Deer Park made a decision. And Deer Park is going to run a bond again in November, on the November ballot. And then Spokane, who hasn't lost a bond in a long time, they have decided not to run in August. I don't know what they're going to do. They did publicly state that they were not going to run in November. So what the board, just on their behalf, I think they felt the same way, where they felt like it was going to be a very contentious campaign. The other challenge in November, you know how many measures are on there? I mean, how many things to vote on? This last ballot, there's a lot. But then you get to November, you got little Riverside. About 30 on the list. That is a real thing to think about. You know what I mean? So, but lastly, the feedback that we got post-bond and also during the bond was the cost and the increased taxes in the assessed property tax in our community. And so those are all, I mean, the question is that going to change in November, right? And that's your point. There's other factors.
There's going to be a huge change in attitude.
Yeah. Unpredictable. Yeah, you are.
Moving on to our business section, number 9A, Riverside High School, Riverside Middle School, ISP fee schedule, 2024-2025. I need a motion.
Second. And then just during your discussion, just a reminder, we do this every July. And are there any questions about it? I mean, it's a pretty typical fee schedule.
Have they increased? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
no increase.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. E, Gallagher Health Invest HRA Plan. Need a motion. Discussion.
I couldn't find the that document where they find what an HRA is.
Yeah, let's have, Lisa, would you mind, we kind of talked about explaining to make sure the crowd also knows the language.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with FFNSAs, they're a flexible spending account. That's what most companies offer. We have one through SEB, so through Navia Benefits. So flexible spending account is for the year spending that's tax deferred from your paycheck for an employee, and they can take that money out as tax deferred, and then they can spend that money on medical and dental premiums and any health care. An HRA, Health Invest, is actually a health reimbursement account, and this particular account is also tax deferred and can be used for health care premiums post-retirement or post-separation from the district. So it's just another form to not pay the FICA and Medicare for the company, for the district, and or for the employee, and they can put that money into an account tax deferred. Much like a VIVA plan, we have VIVA plans for our teachers, and that VIVA plan allows you to is more lenient it allows you to pay for all sorts of, like I could pay for Zyrtec because my son has allergies with my Viva plan if I had the funds in there. An HRA is, this HRA is specifically for health premiums post-retirement or separation.
It's not quite like a savings account.
It's similar in the mechanism or the way that it works. It's just, it's more limited in what it can pay for. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution. What's that now?
You gotta do a business C, remember, the PSC? We were
No.
adding it, we talked about it, for the contractors.
Oh.
Classified union.
Oh, right,
Public
okay.
school employees.
Yeah.
Contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, just like I told you after we had tentatively agreed between the negotiations team yesterday, the difference between this contract and the other negotiations that we completed earlier in June, or was that May? Anyways, is that it's a 3-year contract for language, and then it's a 1-year contract for pay, for salaries and benefits. And as I mentioned to you on my individual calls before, it was still a good negotiation. I think what PSC is struggling a little bit in their own organization is that you have different members based on their job descriptions. And in the past, when we've done like an increase of pay, a raise, we've given a flat raise increase for everyone. So for this one, it's a 5.5% raise. One of the, again, they agreed to a 1-year, and from a district standpoint, I told you, and I'll just say publicly, it's better for us to, in my opinion, recommend a 1-year contract versus mediation. Because if you get to mediation, you're going to start the year without a contract. You could get into what other districts experience where you have everything from walkouts to strike. And we never got to that point at all. I mean, it's never even been talked about. But you can tell there's tension in the group between different workers on feeling like some categories need more compensation than others. And so we felt like, we even met with them and just said, if we settle on a 1-year with 3 years of language, we can sit down and work on these relationships and go around, talk to the members. I mean, it's their job, really. We're the district, so we're kind of, I don't know, the dark side, so to speak. But we can still help with building relationships and getting an understanding of what empathizing what they're going through with their salaries and benefits. Again, we're trying to be competitive with like-sized districts, and we feel like this 1-year contract does that. But it was probably one of the more challenging negotiations we've experienced.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. 7.4, fiscal year budget and the 4-year budget plan. Need a motion. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Good. Need a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.